The following story serves as a cautionary tale of how you need to be careful when meeting someone you've been chatting to online in person. Always meet in a public place, such as a restaurant or a busy location. While the lady who shared this story lost money, the outcome could have gone a lot differently. You never know who truly you are speaking to online. Also, keep in mind celebrities and presidents of celebrity fan clubs are not soliciting for money online or asking for goods from you such as gift cards. If a person online claims to be famous or knows your favorite celebrity and then asks you to transfer money, block right away, and above all, keep yourself safe when meeting anyone in person that you've been chatting with online. I'm a huge fan of the country singer Trace Adkins. I've been listening to him since the mid-90s. I have all of his music collection, t-shirts, ticket stubs. I'm a major fan. I'm also in his fan club. I was on Insta one night and received a message from a woman calling herself Carol. Now there is or was a woman named Carol who ran Trace's fan club, and I assumed this was her, as I had spoken with Carol in the past at an actual Trace show in North Carolina. When she messaged, she said hello and said she wanted to thank me for being such a big fan. I responded to Carol saying it was good to talk to her again and reminded her that we had met at one of his shows once. She replied with yes and had remembered, and then said she'd been trying to reach out to me to ask if I would be interested in getting tickets to a private concert Trace was putting on for his fan club members only. I asked her where and for more information. She said it was going to be in Nashville and that it was an exclusive concert and dinner banquet with Trace for his most loyal fans. I guess I gave up a lot about myself and told her that she knew I was a huge fan, and when I met Carol at that one show, I had boasted about having so much of Trace's music and his t-shirts. I was a fangirl for sure. And I had met Trace once at a meet and greet in North Carolina, and he was a sweetheart. He signed my photo and gave me a hug, so I felt really special and was over the moon to think about having dinner and a private concert with other fans. I told her I would be interested, and I live in North Carolina, and to go to Nashville, while not super close, I honestly would fly anywhere to get to go to this event. Carol said it was a VIP event only. 50 of his mega fans could come. It would be a private banquet with Trace as the host and then an intimate concert. She said all proceeds to the event would be donated to an orphanage that Trace was helping with in Ghana. Now I know Trace does tons of charity donations and works for children's hospitals and for our military, so I had no reason to think he was not being such a giving man. Why wouldn't he help kids in other countries too? Carol said that the dinner would be on a Friday night and I could fly into Nashville the night before and arrange my own hotel. She gave me the address to where the dinner and show would be, and it was located at a private home in a nicer part of Nashville. She said it was one of Trace's manager's homes. It looked like a huge mansion when I Googled the location. Carol said the invitation would be for me, and I couldn't invite any guests, that it was for the superfans only. My husband wasn't into country music much, and I know he would have to be dragged along if he was able to go, so I was a little bit elated that it would be just for his fans, and that I couldn't bring anyone. Carol told me the dinner and concert would be $1,000 total. I was shocked at the price, but she told me that included dinner, a concert, and time with Trace for about 2 hours for us to chat, sing songs, ask questions, and all that money would go to his charity in Ghana. Carol sent me pictures of the orphanage and said it would be helping the starving, needy children. That was a lot of money for me, and it would mean taking it out of my husband and I's vacation savings fund. We always save up every year to take a trip once a year somewhere. We had planned to go to Florida for summer vacation, But my husband told me if this is something I really wanted, that I could use the money to go to the concert instead. I told Carol I wanted to go, and I wanted a ticket to the event. She told me I would have to rush as they only had so many spots available. I ended up telling her yes and to reserve my place. She told me I would have to wire the money via bank transfer to her assistant Rebecca in Nashville to her bank so she could reserve my place. She gave me this Rebecca woman's account and I wired over the money. Carol told me to snap a picture of the transfer so she could confirm that I had paid and she would place me on the guest list. She then messaged me a reservation date, time, and my name, showing that I had paid for my ticket. She told me to hold on to the reservation number, as I would need it to access the location. I was so excited. I planned my trip, I paid for my flight, and I even booked a hotel room a few miles from the location of the house that I was set to meet Trace for the show and dinner. I kept in contact with Carol nearly every week, and she even told me she was looking for new fans to help run his fan club, and I told her I would love to. A few weeks before the dinner, Carol told me that she told Trace about me and how much of a fan I was, and she said Trace was moved by my love for him and his music, and wanted to know if I would like to have a private dinner with him alone the next night after his show and banquet. I was like a schoolgirl and told her yes, absolutely, I would love to, and I was so thankful. And Carol told me that in order to do this, that Trace's manager requires another donation to the Ghana orphanage, as Trace's time is very precious. I asked Carol how much I would need to pay, and she said it was only $500. This would get me a private dinner with him alone, and I was starstruck. I told her, yes, please, let's do this, and ended up using some of my monthly bill money to reserve this dinner. I sent the money again to the same account as before to Rebecca and showed Carol the transfer slip. My husband was less than elated, but he knew it was just dinner and a meeting of my musical favorite, and it meant so much to me. He figured it would be something I could share and a memory that I could hold on to for years to come. The morning I flew to Nashville, Carol was in touch with me all the way. We messaged, and she showed me photos of the dinner table for this event. I checked into my hotel and got ready for my big weekend. I kept sending messages to Carol letting her know I was in Nashville, and I let my husband know that I had arrived safe and sound. Carol kept sending me messages saying she was working with Trace right now, as he was practicing a new song and he would debut it at the banquet. I was jumping up and down. I was so excited. I got ready, called an Uber to drive me to the location. I arrived at this large house, and the Uber driver dropped me off and left. I messaged Carol that I was there, but she didn't respond. The home itself was just huge and beautiful. The front entry and the front yard looked gorgeous. I rang the doorbell and no one answered. I rang it a few more times and continued to wait. I tried to message Carol and ring her, but she didn't pick up. I was feeling off, thinking maybe the driver dropped me off at the wrong location. I didn't know this area at all. I continued to knock and ring, but no one came to the door. I ended up walking to the next house, which was across the road, and saw a couple in their driveway with their garage door open. They were very kind, and I told them my situation and asked if this is the correct address and told them what I was doing here. I didn't want to seem weird to them, and honestly, they looked at me like I was crazy at first, but they could see I was genuine. I even showed them my reservation number. The couple looked confused. They told me that the house is owned by a doctor and his wife, and Trace and no other person named Carol or anyone fitting that description has ever been there to their knowledge. I asked if they'd seen any people over. They were getting ready for this event, and there was flowers, balloons, and the photos that Carol had sent me, showing catering trucks coming in and more. The couple looked a bit sad for me and told me no, that the couple that live there are often gone working. They do come home late at night. They have a security system, and she urged me to maybe try the doorbell again, see if their camera system comes on as they have the remote doorbell, but it's likely maybe they're busy working. I went back over and rang the doorbell, but nothing ever came of it. The couple from across the road came over to check on me and asked where I was from, if I needed some help. Finally defeated, I tried several times to call Carol, to which she didn't respond at all or respond to my messages. The couple was very kind to me and called me a taxi to take me back to the hotel. I called my husband, who was furious, and he was scared for me. He told me he thinks it's a scam of some sort and actually insisted that he come out to get me and that I move hotels in the event that this is some kind of dangerous group who'll do something to me. The only information I had from Carol was her Insta, which I tried calling over and over again on Messenger. I ended up checking out of the hotel in a panic and into another one up the street. I felt safer, and for whatever reason, I just keep continuing to try to contact Carol. I ended up sending an email to the Trace fan club where I've had my membership for years. I left my phone number, and I did get a reply from another woman who ended up calling me. She was so concerned and told me that Trace was not even in Tennessee right now, and he would never have his fan club president or any members message for donations to an orphanage or do anything like this concert or private event in this manner. If anything, his manager would host an event which was legit, and it would have been announced on his website, scheduled and booked through his manager on his real website, not via social media messages. The lady at the fan club urged me to call the police, to which I did and filed a report. In the meantime, my husband came out to Nashville. I was crying and I felt stupid. I told this Carol person off in Messenger, to which she never replied. The police took down the bank account information of who I sent the money to. My husband and I ended up staying 3 nights in Nashville and kind of made a mini vacation out of it. We ended up going to the house that I had went to before, and this time I made contact with the owners. It was a lovely couple, and he was in fact a doctor. They had no idea this was going on, and they think that maybe scammers somehow had picked photos of their home because they just bought their home last year and it was listed on a real estate site. That's the only way they can think of how photos of their home, both inside and out, were used when I showed them the pictures. They confirmed that it was from the real estate listing. I apologized to them, to which they were so kind. I was duped out of money and felt so dumb. I guess the only positive is that my husband and I enjoyed Nashville. I went home smarter but out of money. Beware of music scams online. Your favorite stars, managers, fan club presidents, etc. will not message you on social media and ask you for money for special events such as this. And we'd like to thank this lady for sharing her story. As I said in the beginning, this is a cautionary tale. Sometimes scammers do this type of thing, and sometimes other criminals try to lure people into these meet and greets and get them into different positions that they don't need to be in. So always use caution when meeting someone online, and keep in mind real celebrities are not going to message you on social media, message you that you're a mega fan and that they want to meet you in private or speak to you in private. If you'd like to share an encounter you had, whether it be with a fake celebrity or somebody you met online that tried to scam you or did scam you, you can drop us an email, scammingscammers@gmail.com. You can also find us right now on Facebook under the page Scamming Scammers Cyber Education. Until then, stay safe.